Welcome to another Kentucky Derby edition of HorseCenter, everyone. I'm Brian Zipsy, and as always, I'm joined by, let's just call him Superfecta Skaggy, Matt Schiffman. How are you today, Matt?
I'm great, and here it is actually Kentucky Derby edition this week.
It is the edition. We've done several Kentucky Derby editions, but this is the edition. I just arrived in Louisville, beautiful Louisville, Kentucky, and the excitement is in the air, Matt, for a race that we look forward to pretty much 364 days a year. It's almost here, the 141st running of the Kentucky Derby. Matt, are you sticking with your picks that you've been talking about for the last couple of weeks?
I am not making any changes, although in my mind, some horses are moving up and down, but my strategy is the same.
Your strategy is the same, and I think that means American Pharaoh, maybe Mubtahij.
It does. It absolutely does. I'm sticking to my trifecta guns that I came out blazing with last year.
Trifecta guns. Yeah, you hit the, I think I had the pick 5 last year and you had the trifecta. So another good year for the Zipsy and Schiffman duo at the Derby. Let's hope to do it again. And let's try to help our viewers a little bit, Matt, with some of our selections in the race, but more importantly, maybe even structuring a few tickets that could help Joe, Ethel, and any other viewers out there win a few dollars this weekend. This is the weekend where everybody bets, right?
Absolutely, and I'm looking forward to doing anything I can to help Joe and Ethel.
Okay, Matt, I have a question for you. Yeah, Joe and Ethel are great, so we got to help them. I have a question for you. American Pharaoh goes off as the favorite. Maybe he's 3-1. That doesn't scare you out of your trifectas, does it?
It absolutely does not, because over the last 15 years, the favorite has only been in the trifecta, meaning first, second, or third, 8 times out of 15 years. And when the favorite has been in the trifecta, it has not had a dramatic effect on the payoffs. Last year, California Chrome, 5-2 favorite, wins it, and the trifecta is over $3,000. The year before, Orb, favorite, wins the race. Trifecta is just shy of $7,000. The trifecta at the Derby with the 20-horse field has huge value. You got to make an investment to try and hit it, but I think it's worth it.
Yeah, it's going to be tough with all these good horses, Matt, to try to put together a $6 ticket and expect to win the trifecta. Now, these are going to be 50-cent plays that we're going to talk about.
Yes,
50-cent plays, so you can spread it out a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to play a trifecta ticket. It's a 50-cent ticket that ends up having 160 combinations, so that ends up costing $80. I know it sounds like a lot, but it's a 20-horse field. There's a lot of good horses, and you got to give your chance to hit that nice price that sneaks into second or third in the trifecta. So I'm going to give you, and the trifecta will be up on the screen during the show. I'm going to give a trifecta that has 4 horses on top. They're the 4 that I've been talking about for weeks: American Pharaoh, Carpe Diem, Mubtahij, and Dortmund.
Matt, I got to interrupt you for a second. $80, Kentucky Derby, that's not a lot. People shouldn't be too worried about throwing $80 at something that could pay, as you said, hundreds, thousands of dollars.
I absolutely agree with you, because to try and do it with a $12 trifecta box, you're gonna need an awful lot of just flat out luck to be able to do that. If that's what your budget is, then go ahead. But if you've got the money and this is the biggest betting day of the year, this is when you gotta try and make a big investment, because the value is all there. So I'm going to use those 4 on top, and I'm going to put 6 horses in the second spot. That includes the 4 on the top, and 2 more horses, Frosted and Upstart. And then in the third spot, I'm going to use 10 horses. That also includes those 4 on the top.
Mm-hmm.
That means that we've got room for some prices to come in. And if by chance something unusual happens and those 4 horses get in the trifecta and take the trifecta, I'll have the chalky trifecta. But in reality, I'll probably still make a few dollars on that.
Oh, I think so, Matt. $80 is not a lot when you consider the payoffs, even if it's the first three favorites, even if you're American Pharoah, Dortmund, and maybe Carpe Diem all hit all hit one, two, three. You probably still come out ahead on this bet, but that's not why you're playing it. You're playing it to get one of those longer ones in for second or third.
Right, exactly. And just as you're saying, I will also do the ticket. Uh, four on top. I'll move that bigger group of nine into second place and put the group of six in third place. So I'm going to do two $80 tickets. That gives me a chance to get that big long shot in second or in third and make a big cash. And with the two tickets, again, if it chalks out, then I'd be cashing it twice.
Nice, yeah. And with the way you're reversing second and third, you can cash twice, as if one of the six run second or third for sure. So that's a very good way to do it. I like your strategy there, Matt. I am in agreement, Matt, that the trifecta is one of the better values of the year in betting. It's 20 horses. There's a lot of horses that we can toss. So there's only so many horses that we really feel are likely to get into the even though some of them are long shots, and they have a better chance to run third, even though they might be 30 to 1 than their 30 to 1 odds would suggest. So that's a great way to do it. I like the simplicity of those tickets. I will certainly bet some trifecta tickets as well. I'm going to probably steer clear of American Pharoah on top for me. I'm going to try to beat the favorite. I think there's enough reason to be hesitant to think, well, maybe he's not worth the 3 to 1. But like you said, even if he wins, you're going to get some good payoffs.
Are you Brian?
Matt,
Are you going more horizontal in your wagers again, Brian? I know you love the multi days and the pick fives.
yeah, you know me. I love these stakes races. Kentucky Derby weekend, whether I win the Derby or not, has traditionally been very good to me as a bettor. I really like focusing on the better horses in my betting. That's when I'll bet more, and I just feel more confident on what I understand is going on and what the horses can do. So yeah, I will be betting some multi-race wagers. I am going to go with the trifecta in the Kentucky Derby for sure. So I'll be with you there, just a little different as far as the horses. But I'm one of the bets that I always love. And I'm not quite as cost effective as you on this. Although we ended up with the same number after you reversed second and third in your trifectas, I'm going to do a series of 3 tickets for a 2-day bet. It's the pick 3, and it includes 3 wonderful races: the Kentucky Oaks, the Woodford Reserve Turf Classic, and the Kentucky Derby. So you got to kind of wait this one out. I've had some good luck in the past with it. I like the bet because there's 3 great races. And this year, I'll go over these tickets real quick, Matt. The Oaks fillies I like best are Stellar Wind, who is actually the favorite on the morning line, but I think she's a very lukewarm favorite. You could make a case for literally 5 fillies being bet down to favoritism in the Oaks. So we could be talking about easily be talking about a 4 to 1 favorite. There's no untappables in here, and like the Kentucky Derby, the Oaks has a lot of strength. So Stellar Wind, and the other one is Bird at the Wire. And Bird at the Wire, for those of you who haven't seen it, I think we're going to see parts of the Gulfstream Park Oaks here. And it was really an amazing race where Irad Ortiz Jr. was trying to keep Bird at the Wire back for the first half of the race. And he really wrangled and strangled her early. And horses like that don't win graded stakes. And somehow Bird at the Wire overcame all of the fighting she was doing with the jockey early, rallied up just like her jockey wanted to, and went by. And I thought it was an excellent performance and one that translates well for the 9 furlongs of the Kentucky Oaks. So I'm excited about Stellar Wind and Bird at the Wire. And that's going to be the 2 horses I use the most in this wager. I have a ticket with 2 horses there. I'm going to use the same 5 horses in the Woodford Reserve. And then in the Derby, I'm going to do some spreads similar to you with a smaller group, medium group, and a larger group. So let me run down those tickets real quick. The first pick 3 for the Oaks Woodford Reserve Kentucky Derby pick 3 is going to be Bird at the Wire and Stellar Wind. That's the 2. My 5 horses in the Woodford Reserve are going to be the Lone Speed Chocolate Ride. The shipper coming in from South Africa with Mubtahij is his name is Gayo. Quite a bit of class there if you haven't seen any of his races in Dubai. The filly, I think, has a shot. She's the classiest horse in the race, so I'm going to include Stephanie's Kitten. And then I think Slumber is a horse who probably is better at these shorter distances, so I'm glad to see him back at 9 furlongs. And finally, Seek Again, who you may remember ran a bang-up race, Matt, in the same race last year and just missed against Wise Dan. He's light on form, of course, recently, but I think Seek Again is a threat to win. So I got those 5. And with that ticket, I'm going to go 10 deep in the Derby. And the 10 deep in the Derby are going to be my 4 main plays, which is Frosted, Carpe Diem, Mubtahij, and of course, Dortmund. Then my secondary plays of Upstart and American Pharoah. And finally, my long shot bomber list. Most of them are pretty long, at least. Danzig Moon, International Star, Keen Ice, just in case it's a little bit of a pace meltdown. He loves 10 furlongs. And finally, I have to throw in Firing Line just a little bit because I think he's such a nice horse. So the 10 in the Derby on this bet, it's a 2 by 5 by 10 bet, which costs $50 for 50 cents.
Well, one thing I know for sure is that if Zipsy's putting up those tickets, I know that Zipsy will be betting those tickets. And I know that Schiffman will probably be betting Zipsy's tickets also because he is Mr. Kentucky Oaks. He has had some tremendous success that I know of, parlaying a great pick in the Kentucky Oaks all the way through that pick 3.
Well, thank you, Matt. I appreciate that. Okay, so yeah, I've had some success in this before, and I want to do it again. And yes, I will be betting the tickets that I give out. I don't believe in giving out tickets and not betting them yourselves. I want to cash just like you guys do. Okay, so the next ticket, I'm going to go a little deeper in the Oaks, and this one is going to include a Bird at the Wire and Stellar Wind again, of course, but I'm going to throw in 2 more fillies, so I'll have 4 in the Oaks, and that'll include I'm a Chatterbox and Ocean Wave, my top long shot. I'm going to go with the same 5 horses in the Woodford Reserve. You know those ones already. And then this, I'll just go with my top 6 in the Derby, which now would include Dortmund, Mubtahij, Carpe Diem, Frosted, American Pharoah, and Upstart. So that's a 4 by 5 by 6. So for 50 cents, that's a $60 wager. And then finally, I'll spread it out a little bit more in the Oaks. So I'll add a couple long shots in the Oaks. That's the idea here, to get at least 1 long shot home in these 3 races. And I have plenty of chances in all 3 races to catch some prices. So in this last one, it's going to be 6 deep, Bird at the Wire with Stellar Wind. Include Betty as a long shot, Puka as a long shot, and then of course I'm a Chatterbox and Ocean Wave again. I'm sticking with those 5 in the Woodford Reserve, Matt, and that's not including one of the favorites, Finnegan's Wake. I don't like him at 9 furlongs at Churchill. I think he's a horse that's better at a longer distance. So I'm going to hope Finnegan's Wake does not win this race. So I have 5 in the Woodford Reserve again. And finally, in this ticket, I'm only going to go with my top 4 for the Derby, my top 4 plays in the Derby. I know American Pharoah could win, but again, I don't love him at the odds. So my top 4 again in the Derby are Dortmund, Frosted, Mubtahij, and Carpe Diem. That's a 6 by 5 by 4 ticket, 50 cents, also $60, 50, 60, and 60. My Oaks, Woodford Reserve, and Kentucky Derby pick 3s cost a total of $160. Slightly big investment, but if any one of them win, and you can actually win more than once with these tickets if the right horses win, I think it'll pay a lot more than that. So good luck to everybody with that one.
Kind of uncanny there, Brian. You and I, with consulting, we have come up with the exact same amount of money to invest. And I think the other commonalities in the tickets are that both of them are looking to make a big win, and both of our plays give you different chances to be successful. It's not a one-dimensional approach on the way the tickets can pay off.
That's right. Yeah, I'm not playing American Pharoah big, but American Pharoah's on 2 of my 3 tickets. So if the favorite does win, as you think he very well could, a little bit more than me, I've got him on 2 of the tickets. But yeah, we have chances to get long shots in all 3 spots. And I think we also used a 4 or a 6 or a 10 structure in our Derby, which is, we didn't consult about that either. So that's interesting. Not one of us, if not both of us, is going to collect big on this ticket. So I hope the people watching again also collect big. That would be my wish.
Absolutely.
Any parting shots for the people betting the Derby? Maybe they're not as experienced bettors as some of us.
Yeah, I think that there's so many different wagers available on Derby Day. Every possible wager, before, after, and during the Derby, you can't bet them all. Don't try and bet them all. I focused on the trifecta. Brian focused on the multi-day pick 3. Figure out what you're comfortable with and go after that, because if you try and hit and play every different wager and every race on Derby Day and Derby weekend, you're not going to be successful. How
Good
about you,
advice,
Brian?
Matt. Good advice for sure. I'm going to throw in a simple one too. You hear so much talk, chatter, whisper, gossip. Everything you can think of is magnified tenfold for the Kentucky Derby. Stick with your guns, people. If you like a horse, don't let somebody talk you off that horse. That'll be the worst way to lose if that horse wins. So stick with what you like. Sure, you can listen to some of the people that want to give you information, but don't let any of us talk you off a horse that you may like in the Derby or the Oaks or any of the other big races.
Without question, that's the most important thing for you to develop your style. And I think Brian and I have given you a betting style. I've given you one in the trifecta. Brian's given you one in the pick 3. And if you want to swap a horse in and out from my ticket into your trifecta, go ahead, go for it. If you want to add a horse into Brian's pick 3 or take one out, then go ahead and do it. We're giving you the kind of strategies to use that give you the best chance to be successful. So go ahead and put your input into it also.
It's more fun that way, isn't it, Matt, if it's your selection rather than you're just copying of that. But we're here to help, and hopefully we did help you. We also offer the Super Screener here at Horse Racing Nation and Derby Wars, so if you haven't seen that product yet, give it a check. Of course, we're brought to you by Horse Racing Nation and Derby Wars. Thank you, Matt, for being with us. Thank you to all the viewers.
You're welcome, Brian, and have a great Derby weekend, and enjoy Louisville.
I will enjoy that. Wish you were here. We'll have a good time here in Louisville. And folks, we'll be back with you next week to start talking Preakness, but especially to, of course, highlight the new champion of the Kentucky Derby.